All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Note to Self. I'm Payton Sartain, your host. You know what? I'm just going to start right off here saying today's been not the greatest day ever. I didn't necessarily wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but I woke up in a surprising fashion, at least to me. I mean, it was kind of a miserable way to wake up, and then things just went downhill from there. And you know when you get in like that mood where it's like everything's going wrong and then just like everything continues to go wrong because that's how that usually works. It's like the opposite of lucky girl syndrome. Though I do kind of find it funny. Like, yes, I'm complaining about it, but it's honestly a little bit funny and there is some good in it. So I'm recording a vlog today so y'all will like see some of this in action. Not all not all of it. Because I'm about to explain what happened with how I woke up this morning, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck? How are we gonna see that in action?" This morning, I wake up at 5 a.m. I'm woken up by my own body, by my own self. I started my period in the middle of the night. Well, not in the middle of the night. It was 5 a.m. Anyway, to me, that's the middle of the night. Does not happen to me. It doesn't like come on in a surprising fashion like that, and I definitely don't wake up in the middle of the night like that. So I wake up, and it startles me. I'm a little bit weirded out by this. I will say the night prior, so last night, I was watching TikTok and I saw all these TikToks about girls who didn't know they were pregnant when they actually were. So I was like, oh my God, is this an omen? Like, am I pregnant? Am I like immaculately conceiving right now? Like, what's happening? So I have one pregnancy test in my entire apartment. I go on a scavenger hunt for this test at midnight. Then I don't have to pee. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to put this test on the toilet with the toilet lid closed. So I do not forget to take it in the morning because I have to take it. I need to know. So in the middle of the night, I guess 5 hours later, I am awoken by my period, which is kind of a little bit great. Like this is what I'm saying. Like that fucking sucked. And it's horrible thing to wake up to, especially on like by surprise when it just takes over everything real fast. But I'm not pregnant from what I know. So that's great. Then this morning I wake up like at my normal hour at around 8 and my cramps are so fucking bad. I would love to set myself up with one of those little cramp machines because I feel like my cramps have never really been that bad. Like they've been around, but like not that bad. But now they're fucking terrible. So then I tried to go to a workout. I ended up skipping the workout because I couldn't find a place to park and I panicked, obviously, which is why I never really come to West Hollywood unless I'm recording a podcast or like going out to eat somewhere at a normal hour where I'm Ubering because I fucking hate parking here. It's miserable. I never leave my little bubble. People always get on to me about never leaving my little bubble, but I like my little bubble. That's why I live there. And you know what? My rent's expensive. I'm going to take advantage of everything around me and all the good things about where I live, like being able to walk everywhere and going all my favorite places. And I love routine. And the reason I don't do something new or try a new gym or do whatever is because it was a disaster. And anyway, I ended up going home. So I didn't work out. I did go on a walk though. I am currently looking at my fingers. I'm going to try to not put them in the podcast because I have ripped off every single one of my Gel X nails except for one that will not come off. I'm actually going to get them fixed right after this because I have a trip this weekend and I want to look presentable. I literally have one long nail and all the rest have been taken off and also my nails have been chewed. So things are going well today. I was in a rush also earlier because I do this to myself, but I didn't make lunch, so I'm also starving. So just things are happening. I just feel like sometimes I open these episodes with like things are positive and great and we're all so lucky, but today I'm not so lucky. But it's honestly kind of funny. I needed like some kind of comedic element in my life, and I think that things just going to shit just in an inconvenience type of way, not necessarily in a real life type of way, can be a little bit funny, as frustrating as it is. So that's my life update today. It's the worst day ever. And I need to get ready after this to go fly to Colorado. It's 6 a.m. tomorrow. So by the time you're listening to this, I will have already gone. I'm recording this the Thursday before we release it. So I'm just getting my life ready and I'm getting ready to travel tomorrow morning. I have to take 2 planes and a bus to get to Telluride, Colorado. It'll be a lovely day, I'm sure, tomorrow as well. Hopefully a better day than today, but I mean, we'll see. I hate traveling. I think that's one thing I've noticed about myself. I love being there, but I hate the process of getting to the airport. I'm always anxious before I get to the airport. And I always think I'm going to be late no matter how early I am. And for some reason, I cannot time it right. I'm either way too early or I'm missing my flight. There's no in between. I don't know how to time that situation. Something always goes wrong. And then of course nothing goes wrong on the day that I go super early just in case something goes wrong, which is annoying. Anyway, also tomorrow I'm flying United and not Delta, my norm. So I have no good status there. So I'm going to be in the back middle seat. I already know it because I forgot to choose my seats. I don't have access to the Sky Lounge. It's worst day ever. Worst 2 days ever. Just such first world problems. Okay, so speaking of how much I hate traveling, because I don't love it so much and because I just like get really overwhelmed by the process, we're going to talk about my travel non-negotiables to make it go as smoothly as possible. Because there are some things that I do, like there's like a pattern that I follow, a routine, I guess, that I follow, if you will, while I'm traveling to make my travel day go as smoothly as possible. And it might be a little bit extra, but that's just who I am as a person. And I like to prepare. If there's one thing I will say about me, it's that I like to be prepared. That's what anxiety does to you. It makes you prepare. It's also what being type A does to you. Also, if you guys recall, if you were here for it, my dad's episode that we did together, he actually said the number one thing you can do to avoid stress in your life is to be very prepared overall. And he has told me that since the day I was born, pretty much. So I'm ready to go. I mean, I've said this a couple times. We used to like brief, like they'd go on a mission, like when they're overseas, they go on like a full mission and they will brief and then he'll go fly a fighter jet over a war zone and then they'll debrief. We used that same exact routine when we went to the grocery store as a family growing up. So we basically employed these tactics. We were prepared. By the time we stepped in the grocery store, we were all prepared. We knew exactly what we needed to do and exactly when we needed to do it and how it needed to get done in the best way. And then after we got back and we checked out of the grocery store, we would debrief then on what we did correctly or incorrectly at that point. So I am used to preparation. And so today we're going to talk about that. But the first thing I wanted to do before we do that is, of course, Content Corner. So Dear Media has adopted a new show called Becoming Her. And it's by a woman named Margarita. I don't know how to spell her or how to say her last name. I am so sorry. Once I learn it, I will learn it. Would love to do a podcast swap with her, but I have referenced her before. I did so myself and my friend Pia did so actually in the episode that we did together. And I think Margarita, her content, I found it on TikTok first. I love her content about relationships and feminine energy. Now, this can be a touchy subject because I think when I say that, people think I mean, women have to be feminine and men have to be masculine and that's how it goes. No, we both have both energies. And how you choose to employ each energy is just different for any area of your life. And it has to do with what you want out of the situation and how you want to feel. So for me, when I'm at work, I would say I'm more of a typical masculine energy go-getter. I want to like create, I want to force things sometimes. Like I want to like make a plan and follow through and be very strategic about things. When it comes to relationships, I like to sit back and be more in my feminine energy. I like to receive. And I like to give as well. But like, I kind of just like to like be worshipped in a way that I also celebrate my partner. You know what I mean? So I don't really know how to explain it as well as she does, but I feel like she's so good at explaining this topic in a way that makes sense to someone like me who is very type A and somewhat controlling of my own life, because I think we all need to be to an extent. But when it comes to relationships, I've also noticed for me that doesn't necessarily work as well. So I think that Becoming Her is a really great podcast. I haven't listened to all the episodes. The one I like the best so far is episode 4. And it's about being in your feminine and kind of evoking masculine energy out of a man that you're with. And again, I think that if you're someone that doesn't like this kind of content, I would give her podcast a listen because I'm not doing it justice in the way that I'm talking about it. And I don't think it's as controversial as people make it out to be. I do think when you see men online on TikTok who are like, and she's in her feminine and I'm in my masculine, the way that people talk about it a lot of the time feels like they're saying women need to be passive and men need to be aggressive, and that's how it goes. That's not really it. It's just kind of learning how to speak a certain language in a relationship that will evoke a feeling that you want. So I like the podcast a lot. It's a new Dear Media podcast. I'm super happy to see her with Dear Media. And it's called, like I said, Becoming Her. And then also I've been seeing everywhere today the new American Horror Story season with Kim Kardashian. I have not watched it yet. I am so excited to watch this. I might just download all the episodes for the plane tomorrow. I am obsessed with everything Kim Kardashian does. I don't care what anyone says about her. I think she's a fucking genius. I think Kris Jenner is a fucking genius, honestly. But I think Kim is so smart. I think she's so well put together. She honestly, to me, seems like a really good person. I'm obsessed with her. She might be my favorite Kardashian. She hasn't always been. Like, Kourtney was definitely my favorite. And then I loved Kylie. And then I was back on Kourtney. And I've always loved Khloe. But I feel like I respect Kim the most. And I just love that she's like not afraid to try new things, even though she knows the entire world's going to talk shit on it. I'm obsessed with her. So I really want to watch that. Just a reminder that that's out. And if you need it, it's all over freaking social media and TikTok as well. Another content corner thing. I have recently, as of today, seen a picture. This is not really like anyone to follow or anything. I saw a photo of Taylor Swift and Sophie Turner out together, and I might want to like screenshot that and put that as my phone background. With all the things going on with the Joe Jonas, Sophie Turner stuff, I just like love Sophie Turner. I never really like I was not like a huge gigantic fan. Obviously I was a huge fan of Game of Thrones, but like otherwise I hadn't really seen her in anything. And now I'm obsessed with her. I love the dynamic duo together. I love visually what they look like together. I love that she came out today and is like suing Joe Jonas for all these things after she was silent for a long time, after being bashed forever. I just love them. And I'm a huge fan of that girl group right there, Sophie Turner and Taylor Swift. That's a kind of content corner adjacent thing, I guess. I guess I'm following Sophie Turner now. I guess I'm a big fan. Let's talk about travel days. The bane of my existence. I'm really trying hard. It's kind of like last week I've been saying, I've been trying hard to like pumpkin spice and fall related stuff. I've been trying to like travel days. I've been trying to see the beauty in them. There's nothing fun to me about being on a tube 30,000 feet in the air that's just like shooting through the air at crazy speeds, breathing the same air as everyone else around me and being like that close to that many people. There is nothing I like about that. There's nothing enjoyable about that. I will say maybe if I was flying like Delta One where you have the lay down beds, things might be better. But even then, I've done that once, and maybe for a shorter flight, it would have been better. But like even the best of travel, I'm not like, you know what I want to go do for a day? Sit on an airplane. That sounds miserable, actually. I've been trying to romanticize traveling, and I just can't do it. But we're going to do our best today. I'm going to tell you what I do in order to not lose my absolute mind when I'm traveling. So, number one, the first thing we're going to talk about, the first step in traveling is the prep, of course. So I usually spend kind of like the day before prepping in my own little way. And here's kind of what my routine is for prep. So first I make a CVS run. Sometimes I do this when I get to the place I'm going, but today I did it like actually like in LA. So by this point in my CVS run, I made a huge list of the things that I need. So today I had to go get like deodorant. I got some falsies because I'm going to attempt to put those on myself for this wedding I'm going to. Because I want to look fancy, but we'll see how that goes. I also got like some travel sized lotion that's going to work well with my spray tan specifically for that. I got some gum, I re-up on my allergy meds, just whatever I need. I go do a big CVS run. I also just try to get travel size of whatever I can. But that will come up later. Okay. Number two, I really like to come home to a clean apartment. That just makes my life so much easier. So if I have time in the days before I go travel, I try to do a deep clean of the apartment. Just real quick, I try to make sure all the grocery or the dishes are done. I try to make sure like anything's cleared out of the fridge, the trash is taken out, the recycling's taken out. Try to do a nice vacuum, maybe wash my sheets before I go, and then clean my bathroom as well. Just so when I come home, it's one less thing for me to do and I can come home and feel very comfortable. So I feel like, yes, it's annoying to do so before I leave, but whenever I come back, like I'm doing something for future me when it comes to traveling that just makes me feel so comfortable upon returning. When it comes to packing, I already know I'm checking a bag. So I use packing cubes specifically. So there's a couple that I've tried. I've gone through a couple different kinds, similar to how I've gone through a couple different kinds of like pill organizers before I found the one that I like that can hold all of the supplements I'm taking. I've gone through a number of packing cubes, and I recently got some packing cubes off of Amazon, and they're these packing cubes that expand and then you fill them up and then you can essentially compress them with like there's two like levels of zippers. So I can link those in an Amazon shop. I'll put everything in an Amazon shop like section for y'all. The travel section is what we'll call it. And I'll add the packing cubes and whatever else I talk about on here. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of packing cubes. I feel like it just keeps things organized for me whenever I am actually going on the trip. And then I think it helps space wise. And then I also like it for when I come back because I know like I kind of put like my dirty stuff in one whenever I'm coming home and then like my cleaner stuff in the other, depending on like if I like when I was in New York this last time, I had a washer dryer. So I would like wash things that I needed throughout the week. And I would have like I had clean stuff upon arriving home. So that was different. I like to put stuff in the packing cubes, like any of my electronics. I like to put my meds and stuff like that in packing cubes. So everything has its place. And I just find it makes my life packing easier. And like I said, I will link the ones that I use. I also love a travel size like set for like my beauty products. I found one on Amazon that's like really cute. So it comes with a couple pouches for like shampoos and body washes and lotions and stuff. I think it has a spray bottle. Found it on Amazon. Again, I will link it in my Amazon shop. But I like to have my own products when I travel. Sometimes if I'm traveling for a longer time, like let's say a week, 2 weeks, I'll bring some of the full size items. But like this weekend, I'm only going for like Friday to Monday. So I don't need all my full size items. So I'm just going to bring some stuff in my little travel sets. And I like that, again, I can bring my own products. I do kind of tend to save my samples and stuff like that for when I travel as well. So like any Sephora samples I get, if I pick up some at CVS, I'll, bring those with me. But I also like to have like definitely my Vegamore shampoos and conditioner and my masks and things like that. I like to bring in a separate thing for myself. Another thing that I do before, if I can, is schedule my ride. So like tomorrow, my flight leaves at like 6:30 a.m., I believe. So I'm gonna have to get to the airport so freaking early. So I'm probably going to schedule an Alto for myself to pick me up at the exact right time, because then I know I'm going to be like ready by that time and just get something out of the way. Sometimes also when it comes to early flights for me, Ubers take forever and I don't want to deal with that anxiety. So I'm just going to schedule my Alto. Usually when it comes to airport travel, I feel like I always end up booking an Alto because not only can I schedule it out and the prices good, but when I land in LAX has this thing that some other bigger cities do as well, where basically you land, and if you want to get like an Uber X, you have to get on a shuttle and then go to a separate Uber X lot where you get in a line, and then your Uber X can pick you up there. And sometimes that Uber X is like $100 from that lot to my house, whereas an Alto will pick me up right by the baggage claim and it will be there. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, so I like to like give it some time before I request it on my way back. Which we'll talk about in a second as well. But the Alto sometimes ranges from like $65 to like $90, and it's way nicer than an Uber X would be. And sometimes the Uber Black isn't bad either. So I'll check both of them, but usually I'll go with an Alto, especially when I'm pre-scheduling a ride. I always just really book an Alto. The next thing I do for prep, the last thing I do, per my episode I did with my friend Morgan Riddle, who travels a lot, I feel like I was definitely a skincare girly on the flight just because it gave me something to do. But she pointed out that airplanes are disgusting and that she doesn't do skincare on her flight. And I was like, you know what? That's fucking genius. You're so right. I know that they do like have air filters on there. And I know with the whole COVID situation, a lot of airlines were really like putting HEPA filters on their planes and stuff. But to me, I'm still grossed out. So I don't do my skincare on the plane anymore, but that means that pre-airport, I like to make sure my skincare is done and then I moisturize the absolute shit out of my skin. And I drink so much water that day. I try to limit my caffeine intake on days that I'm traveling just because I feel so dehydrated anyways. So I moisturize the shit out of my skin. I put oil on the ends of my hair. I don't know if I would put in like a hair mask because I feel like that could be kind of gross on a plane. But yeah, definitely oils on the ends of my hair because my hair gets really dry. So I moisturize like heavily before I get on the plane and then I'll do skincare after. The next thing is at the airport. We're at the airport. I will always check a bag. I like to overpack. I like to bring more than I need. And if there's an opportunity to check a bag, I'm going to do it. Yeah, it sucks to pay for it, but usually I fly Delta and I can get free bags on Delta. So that's kind of a nice perk, but I'm going to check a bag if I need to bring stuff for a weekend. I will check a bag. If I need to go for 2 days, I'm probably going to check a bag. I know this gives some people anxiety because bags can get lost, etc. I sometimes bring my stuff on my carry-on, like the stuff I would need, like for the wedding, for example. I might bring my dress and my carry-on just in case. But otherwise, I'm just going to check a bag. We'll risk it. We'll see how it goes. Also, a lot of airlines now have they'll notify you when your bag gets on the plane. At least Delta does that. That's what I really like. So that just gives me a little less anxiety knowing my bag is going to be there, knowing I can track it, which is really nice. So yes, one thing about me is I'm going to check a bag. That might be controversial, but I'm going to do that anyway. Number 2, I will bring a carry-on, and my carry-on is going to have a notebook in it for sure. There's something about being on a plane that I need a notebook and a pen. And if I don't have a notebook and a pen, I feel weird. Like I'm going to freak out. I don't know why I always have to write things down on planes. I get ideas on planes, and it's not the same to write it down in a note. So I need my notebook. I need my pen. I need a book just in case there's no Wi-Fi, so I can at least pretend like I'm going to read something. If I feel like I want to read, that's good, but I do need the option. And then another thing I need on the plane is lotion. I have to have lotion. I hate going to are y'all seeing a pattern here? Love to be hydrated. I hate going to the bathroom on an airplane, washing my hands, and then my hands are dry for the rest of the flight. I will have an internal mental breakdown if my hands are that dry because the plane's already dry. Then I'm drying out my hands with the water and the soap, and now I have no lotion. That's my worst nightmare. So lotion. I usually bring 2 kinds of lotion, regular lotion and a hand lotion in my carry-on bag. And I have the TSA approved clear carry-on thing that I can also put in my travel section because I fucking love my little travel bags. All right. So if I get to the airport, even if I'm running a little bit late, I'm getting a snack. I need snack. I need a water, and I always bring an Element packet with me, little extra salt packet for extra hydration. Also, I have pretty low blood pressure, so I like to have electrolytes and salt in my diet, so I don't feel so tired. I'm working on that too. We're looking into it. People. I didn't notice I had low blood pressure until I went to get an IV the other day and got my blood pressure taken. I think I said that in the last episode too. So I'm working on it. I looked up ways to increase my blood pressure a little bit, and that's salt intake and then also some caffeine intake, but salt for sure. And I love Element. It has no sugar in it. It's my favorite. I'm on a subscription for Element because I drink it so much. I at least try to have one a day. So I definitely have one pre-flight at the airport with my snack. And I need my snacks. Sometimes I'll bring healthy snacks with me in my carry-on, but that's for the plane. I need my snack pre-plane as well, just to make sure that we're always strapped with snacks. Okay, so upon arrival, this depends on, of course, on where I'm arriving. But let's talk about let's say I'm arriving into New York City. I get I land obviously, and I usually will get water getting right off the plane. I'll just fill my water bottle up. I am a person that brings a water bottle on a plane usually. So I'll buy water too, but I'll usually bring my water bottle or a water bottle and just empty it out and then refill it when I get into the airport. So I'll keep my water bottle continuously refilled, especially post-plane. Then I head straight to the bathroom, do a little spritz, some kind of mist on my face. And then I will go to the baggage claim to get my bag. So when I actually see my bag with my own two eyes is when I call my ride share. So usually if like, let's say we're using the New York example, I will call an Uber, and I'll head into the city. When I get in my Uber, I am ordering my stuff to my hotel. So happens like specifically in New York. I know I love Joe and the Juice, and there's usually one by where I stay in New York. So I'll just order a green juice. I'll order some coconut water, and I'll order maybe some kind of green smoothie or like some kind of like wrap or whatever. Like they have like a really good chicken sandwich kind of thing. So I'll order it to arrive at my hotel when I'm arriving at my hotel. I love that. And that's this like the second I get there, I like to chug a green juice, chug even more water, just make sure I'm hydrated and make sure I'm fed, because that's step 1 and 2. My simple needs are met. Once I get to my hotel, I like to unpack. No matter how long I'm staying, I want to set out everything out that I'm going to be using and wearing, hang up my clothes, definitely feel like I'm at home, put all my stuff, like all my travel size, beauty stuff, all my makeup, set that all out, and just make sure I have everything set out and it's ready for me to actually use when I need it. Oh, of course, shower and wash my face. Sometimes I'll go do like a quick walk or a workout or something to get my blood pumping again after a workout or after a travel, sorry. Sometimes if I'm feeling really on it, if there's a gym in the hotel, I'll do a quick like strength training workout or something, like an abbreviated one, just to, again, feel better about my life. Or I'll go on a walk around where I'm staying. This is just something I like to do if I've been sitting down all day, depending on how long the flight was, just to like get myself moving. And then I will take a shower, wash my face, and then I will do like whatever beauty routine I need to do. Of course, hydrate. And then I'll usually, if I have time, depending on what my plan is, like the day that I land, I like to lay on the bed with my feet up on the wall for a little bit and just like scroll TikTok or something. I feel like it really helps with my like circulation and anxiety and stuff like that for a travel day. Another thing I didn't mention in the prep time that like I'll do today right now is any kind of beauty stuff I need to do. So for me, today I have this episode I have to record. I'm going to go home and clean some stuff. I'm going to get my nails done, of course. And then I'm going to go get a spray tan at like right before it closes tonight. And then I'm just going to sleep in that and shower it off really quickly in the morning. I also today, before I came in here, did kind of an everything shower, like shaved, exfoliated, all that stuff, moisturized in preparation to go get that spray tan later tonight. So I've kind of already done like the everything shower, which is why I bring it up now. Because whenever I get there, I'm usually like, I don't need an everything shower, but I just need to like shower off the plain grossness, and like whatever grossness accumulated when I was walking or, whatever. And this is the time I also like to just sit in the hotel robe if I can and just like relax for a second in the room. I love to go to a fresh hotel and be in fresh sheets if that's where I'm going when I'm traveling. All right. So some extra tips that I have just in the middle here before we're talking about my arrival back in Los Angeles. My extra tips are, one, I'm a Delta girly. That's what I've said that once. I'll say it again. Delta girly all the way. I have the Delta Sky Miles credit card. I got that one quite a while ago because I was trying to like build allegiance with one airline. And then more recently, I got the Amex Platinum, which also really coincides well with Delta. It gives me Delta Sky Lounge access, which I really love. I think they're changing all of that stuff up soon, but I like both of those cards. I use them both for different purposes. And I've gotten like a lot of miles with them. I have pretty good status with Delta to the point where on some flights I get bumped up to first class for free, which is nice. And then I feel like I've gained status pretty quickly as well. So I use the Delta. In my, I opened my first credit card when I was 18. So I have 3 total credit cards now. The one is the Delta Amex and one is the Amex Platinum. Those 2 came later. My first credit card I ever opened was my Chase Sapphire card. Actually, no, I think my first credit card I ever opened was some Wells Fargo card that I had first. But when I became like a real adult at like 22, I opened a Chase Sapphire card. And luckily I had credit that was good enough because of those cards before. My parents were really helpful in helping me build credit and like kind of trying to teach me about that when I was in college, just like very rudimentary stuff, not like the details of everything. But my parents are big on credit card points and like accumulating them. So I always learned about that. So I opened a Chase Sapphire card, which I have loved for traveling. I've used it the last 8 years. So that's another option. I know sometimes people like to combine like an Amex Platinum with a Chase Sapphire to get a bunch of different perks. But Chase Sapphire, I use those points constantly as well. And in my brain, like I kind of like strategize the way that I use the cards for my own personal and like business stuff. So I don't really have like a go-to system right now, but I'm trying to figure out one is my point. So I don't know. I don't have one to share with you is what I'm saying. Don't have it totally figured out, but I'm trying to strategize a plan on how I use those cards. So those are my 2 little extra tips for like what I'm doing when I'm traveling. I also know that Amex, you can get access to the Centurion Lounge. And I've also seen that Chase has some lounges as well. So definitely look into that when you're looking for a card. But I love using both those cards for traveling, mostly the Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire, because it helps with like hotel bookings. And again, I use the points a lot. Let's talk about my coming home process, because this is very important to me to transition straight back into my life after traveling, because I don't like to like miss a beat when I'm traveling. I feel like I've already missed all the beats while I'm on my vacation or on my work trip. So I like to just kind of like get the ball rolling when it comes to getting home. So when I come home, it's kind of the same way as when I arrive. I've already prepped that my house is going to be clean. So I know that as I'm landing, like, all right, the house is going to be clean when I get home. As I get my bag, I'm usually calling my alto. I kind of try to plan that accordingly. Sometimes I'll call it a little sooner. It just depends on the situation that I'm in. As soon as I get in my car from LAX, I'm ordering my Postmates. So this last time I ordered myself a place called Love Baked Wings. It's actually Beyonce's ex-chef's company, and it's like a baked wing company that tastes really freaking good. It's supposed to mimic like fried wings. They have like 6 different dry rubs, some other different rubs you can use, and then they have and then you can have your sauces of choice. They've got French fries, they've got sweet potato fries. They have so many different options. So I really liked that, actually, by the way. But I ordered that for myself. I like to order myself a meal with a lot of protein in it. I also, the day of, especially on the plane, if I have Wi-Fi, I like to order myself my groceries from Amazon. So I'll just like make a little Whole Foods order. I'll make a little order for my menu, like basically create my menu on the plane, usually inspired by TikTok videos I've seen or just like things I know I like. Make a little menu for the next few days, have my food and my groceries delivered around the time that I'm landing if possible, or the next morning. Just really depends. I also am drinking water like crazy, again with Element when I arrive. And then I'm drinking like water like crazy. Like what my goal is to when I get home, I want to have to pee so bad. Just get it all out. You know what I mean? Like it feels like a full reset. I get home, usually I have packages at my door. I've got my Postmates at my door. If I'm lucky and I've planned ahead, I've got my groceries at my door. And I get there, things are ready. I try to immediately upon landing unpack before I shower. I want to get all my groceries in the house. I want to get my stuff in the dirty clothes, get some laundry going if I feel up to it. I want to get everything unpacked. I want to get my stuff like set back up in my bathroom, and then I want to shower, and then I'll have my little beauty routine and eat. So sometimes I think like maybe ordering the Postmates, it depends on how hungry I am. This really can change based on like how hungry I am, if I need to shower right now, etc. But this would be like my ideal situation, is putting my Postmates in my oven to keep it warm, and then having the time to shower so that I can sit down and be showered and moisturized and like watch something and eat my Postmates. And then I'm just like reset for the next day. This is if I land like more towards the nighttime, which I normally do. So that is my travel schedule, routine, non-negotiables. It is pretty intense, but it is the routine that works for me. And it's what makes me feel the best upon landing and feel like I can set up for a successful next day, even if that next day is just like a Saturday. I love to just feel settled. And it's kind of a lot to do pre and post travel, but I don't know. That's what I do. That's what feels good to me. So that's my travel routine. That's what I'll be doing the rest of the day and then during the weekend and then on Monday when I return to Los Angeles. And I can show you guys also, if you guys want to see the vlog of this situation, it'll be up in a couple days on Monday on my channel. I'm vlogging, like I said, all today. So I remembered my note to self for the week, by the way. I remembered to note it down. So we'll end on my note to self for the week for myself. This is something I have talked about before, but I feel like has come around in my life as just something I've noticed for myself and others around me. And that is to, how do I say this? I don't want to pay so much attention to what I should be doing. There are people in my life that I've noticed that I feel, and we all do this to some extent, but there's a couple of people that I love that I feel like they do this to themselves. And I'm like, do you even know what you like or that you want for your life because you're so busy doing what you think you should be doing and saying what you think you should be saying that you don't even know like what you want in these situations because you're like playing a role. And we've all caught ourselves in this situation where you feel like you should be doing something. You're looking around everyone thinking, okay, I should be doing this and I should be doing this. And I'm going to almost play this role. I feel like I did this a lot when I was younger when I didn't really know what was going on, but I know what I know what should be happening. And I would almost like talk about things like not from experience, but because I knew what should be said or done in those situations. And I think it's really obvious when people do this, when there's like a lack of life experience or a lack of knowledge of self, because people talk like they know something that they don't really know. They only know what they should be saying in that situation again. So there's always a lack of authenticity there for me, and it's seemingly like a lack of compassion, in my opinion, for self and others when you operate from the things that you quote should be doing, because truly no one really knows what's going on. And what does that even mean, what we should be doing? I don't know what the fuck we should be doing. And to me, when I focus too much on what I should be doing, I lose the magic of the moment that I'm in right now. And I lose almost what I feel to be like my autonomy and authenticity. So instead of connecting to what should be going on in my life, I want to connect to self. I want to connect what feels right to me, what I want, what I enjoy. For so long in my life, I feel like I've done things because I feel like I should do them because I feel like I should be enjoying them. And there's so many things I've let go of in life as of late that I've been like, wait a minute, why am I trying so hard to like this? I just don't like it. It's just not for me. And that's okay. So I think that focusing on what you want and what you like is something that can be really tricky to nail down if you're in the should be doing mind space or headspace. So definitely take some time. And I'm speaking to myself here. I need to take time to really focus on what I want for, like, say specifically the next couple months, the end of the year, and what I want for my relationships, what I want for my friendships, what I want for work. I want to focus on what I really want and figuring out how to make that come into my reality rather than looking around and seeing what everyone else is doing and trying to focus on what I should be doing. So I want that for you as well. Take some time to yourself. Focus on what you want. Try to get in touch with what you want. I think if you don't know what you want, it can be really intimidating to try to figure out what that is, but it is the most worthwhile endeavor you're going to embark on, most worthwhile journey you're going to embark on, I think, to figure out what it is that you want. Because once you stop figuring out what you should be doing or trying to look to everyone else to tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing, you can figure out what you actually want, what you want to be doing, what kind of relationship you want to be in, what kind of things you want to do with work. But again, it can be really hard and almost intimidating to get to know yourself that way. But I do think it is a lifelong effort, and you're going to change. The things you want are going to change, which is totally normal. So that's why we have to consistently be checking in with ourselves, which is why Note to Self was born in the first place. So that's my note to myself today, is just check in with me. And I think that one thing I do like about traveling, if there is one, being on a plane with nothing else to do allows me to sit there and brainstorm and dream and write down ideas and check in with myself, ultimately, if I let myself. So I always like to have a little time to do that on a plane. And that's what I'll be doing this weekend. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys this week. I hope you guys liked this episode. Please give us 5 stars on iTunes and Spotify if you have a second. That really helps the show. And it takes 2 seconds. Please, dear God, do it. And I will talk to you guys next week.